He briefly worked as an African Assistant Administrative Officer in Kuala in current Siaya County. But he quit after 3 months and joined the East African breweries as one of the first black managers. However, his father was not happy with that, and he did not want him to work outside government, and therefore arranged for some elders to compel him to return to government. He obeyed and returned to government. He then joined the Gene School, which in present day is called the Kenya Institute of Administration, and studied law and public administration. He passed with a distinction. Following this, Honorable NYACHAE was then posted as a district officer, first in Kangundo Division, secondly in Machakos Central, and later Makueni. At that time, the division was actually the entire county of Makueni. While in Makueni, he was trained and subsequently served as a first-class magistrate in the afternoons. He would give sentences of up to 6 months in jail for those found guilty. Old men from Makueni told us back then that he was a very fair magistrate. Once again, he was sent by the government to the United Kingdom for further studies. This time he went to Churchill College, a constituent college of the University of Cambridge. On returning to Kenya, he was posted to Thompson Falls, which is the current day Nyahururu, to be the first African District Commissioner of Nyandarua. This was just before Kenya became a republic. Cabinet Minister Tom Mboya, who was in charge of the Republic Day celebrations, selected him from 41 district commissioners to coordinate the entire arrangements of the Republic Day celebrations. He must have done an impressive job, considering immediately thereafter, the head of the public service called him and told him, Mzee Kenyatta, the president wants to see you. And as soon as he got there, President Kenyatta appointed him the first provincial commissioner of Nairobi, which was then known as an extra provincial district. Thereafter, he was transferred to Rift Valley and later to Central Province in the same capacity. When he arrived in Nakuru to take over as provincial commissioner, the outgoing PC, Mr. Onyango Josia, was shocked at his age. He was too young, he was only 32 years. He could not understand why the government would send a 32-year-old to be in charge of Kenya's largest province. However, he accepted and he handed over to him, and he began his job as a provincial commissioner. Honorable NYACHAE worked as the provincial commissioner in Central Province between 1971 and 78. And upon the passing away of our first president, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, he was appointed a permanent secretary in charge of cabinet affairs by the late President Daniel Arap Moi. Some of his highlights in the civil service include the introduction of district focus for rural development. This was a government strategy that sought to involve the people at district level to participate in development based on their specific needs. Many people believe that it is the district focus for development, focus for rural development that evolved into the current devolution system. He also introduced the unique colored vehicle registration plates we see on government vehicles, which belong to government institutions and parastatals and the county governments. This helped to reduce the misuse of government vehicles that did not have GK plates. He eventually retired at the peak of the civil service as the chief secretary and head of the civil service. Honorable NYACHAE joined politics in 1992 and served as the member of parliament for Nyaribari-Chache for 15 years. During this time as a member of parliament, he donated his entire salary to the constituency's bursary kitty. Through his donation of grade cows to his constituents, he started a program for many families to start keeping dairy cows. While he served the people of Nyaribari-Chache, each year he would use part of his wheat sale proceeds to purchase medicine for the health centers in the constituency. Honorable NYACHAE also served as a minister in the ministries of agriculture, water, roads, energy, and finance. Dad was a shrewd businessman and a farmer. He started off by growing parethrem and maize at his farm in Manaret, Sotik. He would personally plow using a tractor from 3 p.m. to 7, while his driver Mwangi, the tractor driver, did the morning shift. Later on, he farmed sugarcane at Songo, which is at the border of Kisumu and Nandi County. He also started farming in Mount Narok and parts of Narok County and became one of the largest wheat farmers in the country. His first business was a tea kiosk, which he co-owned with his cousin Magara Ondera in Nyantrago Market, Kisii, where he also started apportioning. Around that time, he also started a bakery that would produce 16 loaves of bread for sale, which he did on his Baisumu, Mombasa. He also initiated and did many other businesses like banking, insurance, sawmilling, and in this love for country music to all of us without exception. Some of our greatest moments were listening to Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, Don Williams, Charlie Pride, Nana Musukuri, and Demis Roussos, among others, on a radio cassette as Dad drove his Mercedes. He drove it at a very high speed usually. He was a very fast driver, and there were no speed guns yet. He loved to drive fast on a good road. In fact, it was not rare for him on occasion.
And across the country also. Maybe we'll do a write-up and give it to Michael so that he can increase the rest of the story that he did not capture in that. But all the same, we could not be able, no one could be able to write all or everything that he did, but his contribution to even the church was tremendous. To any church, he did not single out that this is the only one he could support. He really had a heart for work, for God's work in this country. I just wish to take this time to bring the one who will be ministering to us, Pastor, retired John Yamwanda. For a long time, he was a friend to Msee Simon NYACHAE. I wish to bring him so that he can speak to us.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, here present, and all other protocols observed, we wish to welcome you to our final send-off of what Pastor Miyenda has already said, a good friend of mine. I didn't know that a day will come when I will stand here and say a farewell to such a great man, a hero by all standards, who has served this nation relentlessly for many years. The family of late Honorable SIMEON NYACHAE, we wish to send our heartfelt feelings from down deep in our hearts that this, which looks like a loss, could also be a great moment to reevaluate your lives as you move forward. The mothers, sons and daughters, grandchildren, so many people that he has left behind who are very useful to our community. Our program will be running as quickly as we can. After I deliver my sermon, Pastor Lucas will be able to bring us a prayer. Pastor Lucas Jaoko of Nairobi Chapel, where one of our mothers goes to. And then here in our land, we have Bishop Mairura to do the benediction, to bless the people, the family and the people before we leave. And so we will try to be brief because we understand what's before us. I would have therefore taken a lot of time to read to you the scriptures. But in the interest of the time we have, you can record in your mind that one of the passages I would have loved to read is Isaiah chapter 40. Isaiah chapter 40 simply says, our days are so few, and all of us can appreciate the Bible for its truthfulness, that the days we spend on this planet are very few. And they become even fewer when you don't live the whole of your life because of other underlying conditions. But then I'll read to you the New Testament, the first letter of Paul to the church in Corinth, chapter 15. And having been a teacher for some time in the past, I would lovely assign you to read for me 1 Corinthians 15, and you do you well to read the whole chapter, but as a minister we always read just a few lines to bring the life we have at hand home. The first letter of Paul to the dear Christians in Corinth, chapter 15, verse 1 to 8. Moreover, brethren, I declare to you the